Hello, my name is Dr. John Soule, and I'm with the Ritchey Science and Engineering Fair at Weber State University. The purpose of this video is to help you do a really good job on your science fair and to make sure that your display board does what it needs to do to help you have a winning project. You have to keep in mind that the only thing the judges have to work with is your presentation and your display board. There's a separate video on doing a good presentation. This video is about the display board. In both cases, though, it must be easy for the judges to answer the questions that they have so that they can best judge you in comparison to the other projects. So that's what we're going to go over in this video. Your display and your presentation must tell the story of your project. Science fair judges, all scientists and all engineers, are humans. Humans think in much the same way. We've been telling stories for hundreds of thousands of years. And that's what your project is. It's a story of what you have done. So you need to make sure you get that story across. We tend to do this in a very organized way. In science and engineering specifically, we have certain structures that we use to make sure that we understand each other. And at the same time are telling a story. That's what it's all about. Think about how you tell a story. You tell a story by giving an introduction to things to put the story into context. You then describe what happened, and you wrap it up with morals, or in the case of science and engineering, conclusions, and then you put it in context with everything else as to why this was an important story. And that's what we have in the structure of a science fair project, or for a project we're presenting at a professional conference. It's much the same thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to be presenting an introduction to what it was that you did. You're going to describe how it is that you did it. You're going to tell them about the information that you collected. You're going to describe how you analyzed that information, what conclusions you drew from that, and then finally you're going to wrap up with a little description of why this was important and why we should care about your cool project. So we have to make sure that there's a flow to the story. Not only does the story need to flow, as I just described before, with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion, but it also has to be in the way we expect to read things. We expect to read things by going left to right, top to bottom. That's the way this always works. We read things left to right, top to bottom. That may sound simplistic, but it's important to see that that's the way the board is done. If you look at this particular board, that is exactly what's happening. We have at the very beginning on the left side the introduction, why we're doing this, what it is that we were proposing to do, and then we have our procedure here, and then you can see kind of hidden there is the data. And so we want to work our way through those things in this sort of pattern of left to right, top to bottom. This is how we present professional work. Here's an example of a typical display board at a science fair. Notice that there's also some materials on the desk as well. This is a little bit different than what you have for a professional conference. For a professional conference, you would have just simply the display board itself. So you have an added advantage in that you can also bring your data with you and have other materials there on the table with your project. For a virtual project, you could include photographs of that. Virtual projects and projects where you have a physical display board still have to do the same basic task of telling your story. Notice the way this is laid out. Left to right, top to bottom. So reading from the left, we have the introduction, the background, what it is that you're trying to do, and then we have in the middle of the thing, so we've gone from the left, now we're to the middle panel, we've described what it is, how we did it, we show our data and our analysis and graphs, and then continuing to the left and then going top to bottom again, we have how we analyzed the data, what we gathered from that, and then some final information about where we want to go with the project, why the project is of use, and a bibliography as appropriate for that particular project. It is your job to make sure that you get judged well. You want to make sure that you make the judge's job very easy. That means it's your job to make their job easy. And how do you do that? Well, you describe your project very, very clearly in a direction and a flow pattern that makes sense to them. And at the same time, even though you've put perhaps hundreds of hours into this project, you need to describe it in just a few minutes, so it has to be concise. And once you've done a good job with your display board, that has the added advantage of making it easier for you to present, because as you're presenting, you can read through your board. Don't read the board, but you can read through the board as you go and use that as sort of an outline to let you flow really clearly with your description of your project. Let's take a look at some examples. Now, as we look at these projects, these are real projects that were presented at fairs, and I don't want to belittle any projects. Some of these projects were very, very good, but their display boards could have been better. And so I'm going to go ahead and show these display boards with the idea that I want to help you do a better job. Not that these were bad projects. These were very likely very fine projects. What is this project all about? So I got to kind of think to myself, where do I start with this project? It's a very pretty project to some extent because the project deals with projectiles and how things shoot. And so it has this sort of hunting, camouflage motif to it. But they got a little too carried away with that camouflage, and it made it difficult to figure out what's going on. All right, on this next slide, I'm going to do a close-up of that, and I want you to really quickly tell me, you're a judge walking up for the first time, what's the title of this project? Did you figure it out yet? Okay, again, this may have been an excellent project, but it is difficult to read. Here's what the project's title is: The Effect of Lubricants on Speed. The Effect of Lubricants on Speed. That's the title of the project. Now, also look at the layout of the project. So there's some flow to it. You have the question off on the left, and then you jump to materials. Well, that's probably okay. And then procedure, and then you have to kind of go up to get to the analysis. And there are just various photographs on here as well, and the photographs don't have any captions to tell you what the photographs are about. So as a project dealing with projectiles and shooting, and therefore having a hunting motif as an attractive display with this camouflage, it doesn't quite work. It's hard for you as the judge to figure out what's happening. All right, let's take a look at another project. Again, possibly a very, very good project, but let's look at the display board itself and not worry about the project content. Very clear title here, but where do I start? Now, this is not the greatest picture, so let me show you a better picture. We're going to do another close-up. So here's the project. Now, if you look at this, first of all, there are no captions on the figures. So that doesn't help you. You have to figure out what those figures mean without any information with them. All figures should have captions. Notice that there's no caption on this figure here. Now also look at the sequence of this. On the left, you can see the hypothesis. That's okay. And then below that is the abstract. Not too bad. Then we jump into statistics. And so think about how your eyes flow, left to right, top to bottom. And so you read down the left side, that's great. Then you get to the center and you start left to right, top to bottom. And as you go left to right, do you read all the way across and then come down to the next row and then all the way across? Well, it's a little hard to tell because there's no title at the top. And then you've got the word statistics over there. Well, that seems to imply that you're now looking at the data. I'm not sure even where the data is. It's probably up on this top left, top right corner up there. Then below the statistics, there's information on background. After the statistics and the background has been described, then you find out how did you do it. So the methods are presented after the results are presented, or at least the statistics and analysis. The methods needs to be before that to put the analysis and the statistics into some sort of context. So notice the flow is very hard for the judge to understand. Again, I have to say this over and over again, left to right, top to bottom, left to right, top to bottom, left to right, top to bottom, is the way we think. This is a great project. This is a very good project, and it was ordered really, really well, and they put a bunch of work into making this project aesthetic to look at and make it very pretty and eye-catching. But there's some problems with it. So let's take a look at this project a little more closely. Notice that the colors of the background are very strong, and the color of the font is also strong. It's black, but the background is so busy or so intense that it makes it difficult to read The Chemistry of Heartburn, a study of stomach acid reducers, Year 2. The word a study and the word the are somewhat blurred by the background graphics. It can be very difficult to see what that looks like on your computer, and then you print it out and it's like, oh my, that didn't come out as well as I thought. So it can be difficult to see this happen, and then you print it, now you're out of time or it was expensive, and so I understand that that can be a serious problem that you can't anticipate. But I'm telling you, think about it in advance in order to make sure that you don't have the problem that this excellent project had of being a little bit difficult to read. Now let's take a look at the flow. If you look at the top over there, it gives you information about the hypothesis. It gives you sort of an introduction there, and then a hypothesis, some background. Methods are described over here in the middle. It is all very, very well laid out. But the trouble is the lines. These lines that run back and forth through the image here, all those lines draw your eyes away from what you're trying to read. And so as you try to read this, your eyes keep wanting to follow the lines and pulling you away from the really, really well-designed layout of this project. And then it turns out to not quite be there because of an attempt to make the project pretty. So my point is you want your project to look good, but be very careful about how you do it because it can end up being distracting. Let's take a look at another project that has put a lot of work into the aesthetics of the project, but in this case it worked really, really well. So on this project we have a very clear title. The layout of the board is excellent. Notice on the top left there, it's got background information. Then it goes down into what the methods are, what the results are in the center there, along with descriptions of the data that was obtained. Notice that every figure, every graph, every photograph has a caption so that you know what it's all about, why that figure is there. And then it moves down into the right panel, goes through the final analysis, and then gives you the conclusions. Let's take a little bit of a close-up of that. So what we've got is the background, the key problems, and the hypothesis, why we're doing this, what the results were, how that was evaluated, and then finally the conclusion. Again, I want to attract your attention to the fact that they've got good, clean graphics that are easy to read, not cluttered, and everything has a caption. Very, very important that you have captions for every figure so that you know what that figure means. Even if it's just there to be pretty, it should be showing and displaying something. So this is a very, very well presented project, and it's also got a lot of artistic flair to it. You don't need to be artistic, but if you want to be artistic, try to avoid what those earlier projects I showed where they were trying to show something with a real solid flair, but it didn't quite work. This one did. All right. What you need to make sure you do is you need to show the effort you involved in your project, what the data were that you collected, and how you got a conclusion out of that. You have to make sure that that is clearly shown in your display board. That's the whole point to the display board, is to show this information and that you did a good job with collecting data, analyzing that data, and deciding what that data means in your final conclusions. All right, here's another example of a really good project at the International Fair. This was done by two young women who did an excellent job of trying to figure out how to take a better picture of the moon through a telescope. This could have been a terrible project, or it could be an excellent project. They did an excellent project. A terrible project would have been somebody who took a few photographs, made some notes about it, and then presented it. These two young women took hundreds, perhaps almost 1,000 photographs, but carefully analyzed what they were doing from image to image to see how better they could do the image. Let's take a close-up here. So they've got a picture there. Notice that every picture has a caption. Now, okay, admittedly, I kind of clipped the caption on the photograph there with the telescope. And so they're sitting at the telescope taking these shots, and that photograph not only is attractive on the display and shows the work that they put through, but it is also an important photograph for the story. It is showing the equipment that they used and how they collected their data. The picture above up there, the top left picture, is showing the camera system that they used. And then notice that there's a caption saying what that is. Notice that the graphs are clear and uncluttered. They have a clear legend, they have clear labels, they have clear and easy to read axes, and there's a caption that describes what each one of these things means. This data collection, and by the way, every one of those dots on there is a set of photographs that these young women took. And so you can see by just looking at the number of dots on their graphs, and if each one of those dots is more than one photograph, in fact it's multiple photographs, you can see that they did a lot of analysis and work in trying to figure out how best to display this information and how they did their analysis to come to their conclusions. So your data is the most important thing in your entire project. You need to make sure that you explain that data well and what you did with it. Everything must be clear, complete, and labeled. You have to have fonts that are easy to read, but not so big that it overwhelms the rest of the topic and overwhelms the board. Finally, statistics are really important. In many cases, you don't get statistics until you're in 12th grade. That's unfortunate. But your math teachers will help you with that. They have to be really good in order to make sure that your data is well handled. The judges will notice that, especially when you display it well on your board. All right, I am not going to read all this, but I do want to point out that every science fair has a list of rules of what you can have on your display board and what you can have at the table while you're at the science fair. So you can go ahead and hit pause and read all that if you want. Thank you for unpausing me. Or you can just simply go to your individual fair, which is the most important thing you need to do, and see what the rules are for the fair that you are going to. And these rules are ultimately based on the International Science and Engineering Fair guidelines and rules that you'll have to face there if your project makes it that far. All right. Well, I hope you got something out of this video. Again, I'm with the Ritchey Science and Engineering Fair at Weber State University, and I hope you have the best of luck with your science fair project, and may you win.